Hello. Haven't done a video in a while because I can't be asked. I hate doing videos, but I crossed a good milestone recently, $6 million in my business. So I thought I'd do a video basically explaining how I've done it, just so it can potentially help you if you want to actually pay attention and apply what I've done. That really is it. If you don't, all good. Got my matcha because I'm an absolute tart. So we will begin. So, got a little whiteboard here. Very quickly, just run-of-the-mill milestone. Obviously, I get a bit more blasé as the milestones come in. Each million is kind of like, not whatever, it's still amazing, but I just see it and then just move on with my day after about 10 seconds. So recently passed 6 million in the business. Pretty cool. Can't complain. Not been easy, of course. It shouldn't be easy getting to that milestone. Bit of beer just landed on my microphone there. But essentially, what I do is the same thing I've been doing since I began I launched this business in 2019. Prior to that, I had different businesses doing dropshipping, e-commerce, working at marketing agencies. Then I launched a program teaching e-commerce. And then obviously off the back of all that experience, and I launched this current offer, Organic Course Selling Mastery, in 2019, which has done 6 million. And so I'm going to basically break down what I've done in a whiteboard, and then kind of break down the steps that I think you should take if you've never done it before, what you can do after, how to grow things, how to launch things. So obviously I'm not going to teach everything because otherwise I'll be here for hours and hours and hours. So I'm going to try and keep it to about 10-15 minutes, obviously. But if you can't watch a 10 or 15 minute long video, then business isn't for you anyway, to be honest. You may as well just scroll off and watch memes, people falling over on YouTube instead. So if you're still here, congratulations, you have the makings of a successful business. So yeah, breaking down what I did. I've never used this before, Miro. I'm guessing we go here. That looks okay. Can I make it a bit thicker? That'll do. No, that's the color. That'll do. Cool. Right, probably should have tested that before I started, but there we go. So yeah, as I mentioned, it starts with a skill. Again, if your goal is to make an online business, an online education business, which is what I teach, is what I've been doing for many, many years. I've been helping 1,600 plus students now turn their existing expertise, their skills into an online business. And I've seen all the different business models out there, crypto, NFTs, if anyone's even doing those anymore. Insane. That was even a thing. What were you thinking? Not me, I didn't get involved, but if you got involved in NFTs, what the fuck? Insane. But yeah, got all these different options, even down to dropshipping e-commerce, or having a physical business, having a physical store. They all involve either a lot of capital up front, or a lot of risk up front, or a combination of the two. Obviously, if you're starting a new brand, you need a lot of stock up and inventory up front to sell it first, of course. Dropshipping, you kind of remove that risk, but you got a lot of headaches with fulfillment and shipping and customer happiness, satisfaction, all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a headache. It's kind of why I got out of doing dropshipping e-commerce. It's still a great business model, but a lot of headaches that I just didn't want to endure, basically. Crypto, obviously, if you know what you're doing, great. If you don't know what you're doing, like me, not so great. You obviously need to then front load a lot of money into crypto just on a bare whim that it may end up being fruitful years or decades down the line. We just don't know. The one thing that you do know, or I know at least, is the control of having your own online business with no risk, because that is essentially what an online course business is. No risk. It's basically a business out of thin air. You're just telling people what you know in an online course, online format. That is it. No stock, no inventory, don't need any physical space at all. If you have a phone, webcam, laptop, you can make a 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month, and more online business. That's exactly what I've done. That's what got me into 6 million. I temporarily rented an office in Reading when I used to live in Reading because my flat was just insane. That's probably the closest I've ever been to actually having like an official kind of physical presence in the business, just out of necessity. It was just one of those office share things. It was okay. But now I obviously just have my office at home in Devon. That is it. It's great. No risk. So It all starts with this. You need a skill, obviously. You can't viably make an online course business without a skill that you've learned yourself first. Obviously, now with AI, you still need a skill. Really, you can't ethically teach people how to create, or ethically teach people on a subject that you're just pulling from AI. Other people do that. Other people teach that. It's not for me. But if you do have a skill of some form, again, it could be your previous hobby, it could be your previous or current career or current hobby. That's enough to get you started. Because remember, you're teaching this to complete beginners that are coming into your own hobby or career or industry or niche. They're complete beginners. They want to learn what you've had to go through to figure out yourself so they can get to where you are much, much faster. But with AI now, if you have a skill, but you're maybe a bit, it's a bit patchy, we can ethically now fill in the gaps with AI. So this is where it all starts. Obviously, when I started, this wasn't even an option. And up until this year, I was obviously teaching my students to just teach based on their own skill. Now we can combine the two. It's making life much more easy for everyone involved. Certainly for you, if you're creating a course from scratch, you've never done it before. And it obviously helps with the course creation process as well, the curriculum. I've got AI training that can actually teach you this stuff. It's all in my coaching program if you want to join it. Information is below this video. So yeah, that's where you start. Skill plus AI. And then, obviously, if you've never done the skill before, this is the most important part. So let's get the course online business part out of the way for now. Just focus on the skill part. Because obviously, to teach someone a thing, you need to have done the thing first, obviously. And you need to get results doing the thing. I should probably get one of those little tablet drawing board things one day, but I just don't give a toss. I don't really care about doing these videos. I'll just do them every now and then if I feel inspired. So I probably won't. But get results. So do the skill, learn the skill, get results. Then all you have to do, once you've got those consistently, share those with your audience. That is it. That's exactly what I did. So when I was doing dropshipping e-commerce, I did the thing very well. I had like 8-10 different dropshipping stores. I was doing really well with that. Then I was just sharing, like, I just made $1,000 today in sales in my dropshipping store, just on my social media, because I was a bit of a wanker. But sure enough, people would see that and be like, I've always wanted to do that. I would love to learn how. But that's it. That's all you have to continuously do, is continuously share the results of your efforts in your skill. Doesn't matter what it is. Astrophotography. I follow a lot of really good astrophotographers that could and should do online courses because they're sharing their pictures. I can see people in the comments saying, how do you do this? How do you take this image? How do you process it? What gear are you using? If you keep sharing how good you are at the thing and people keep asking you questions about the thing that you're doing, that is a big old tick against should you make an online course. So you share the results. If you're not already getting feedback, you probably will be. Then you literally just announce, be like, I'm thinking of making an online course where I just could teach you all the stuff that I know in my hobby, insert hobby here, or career, insert hobby, insert career here. Who would like some more information, or who would be interested? That is it. And then that's literally how it starts. That's what I did with my dropshipping one. That's what I did with my current program. Back in the day, got the results in e-commerce. I was like, if I made a course that taught you how to do all this stuff from start to finish, who would be interested? And then that generated about 15 grand in pre-sales. So I said, I'm making an online course. I'm only going to make it if people show interest and they actually want to watch and consume and buy this online course. This is going to be the price. Let me know if you'll be interested. And then loads of people said yes. My little light just died there. Oh well. And that's how I pre-sold my first course. And then obviously off the back of that, I learned how to sell that course. That course did about 400 or 500 grand in sales in total. And then again, took those results, shared how I'd built a course from scratch. And I was obviously using Facebook groups before it was cool to use Facebook groups to sell courses. This is, again, back in 2017, 2018. Sharing the results of how I built a Facebook group, pre-sold my course to that Facebook group, then grew it to 20, 30 grand a month with just a Facebook group. no ads, nothing. And then, yeah, share those results again to other people that were watching what I was doing, saying if you'd like to learn, or I'm thinking of making a program that teaches you how to turn your existing knowledge and skills into an online course business and sell it without ads. Who would be interested? Once again, share the results of the skill, asked people that were already asking me questions of how I was doing it, and that all resulted in money. That's it. That's obviously the absolute thickoid version of how I've done it. Got to 6 million. But then there's obviously things that go in place. So once you've got all this in place, you've done the pre-sale, you've even made the course or haven't made the course, then you need to start getting some options and processes in place to actually start and grow the business. So obviously traffic, that's where you start, is traffic. So you've done the thing, you've done the pre-selling even, or you haven't, but you're looking to share the results. Traffic. So you've got multitude of options these days. Again, ads are great, but when you're just starting out, do not need them. Other people say otherwise, but they could piss off. So again, you can just start with organic. Facebook groups in your profile. That's again what I did. I did my first $1 million with just a Facebook group and my profile. That was it. Again, just doing what I was doing. I learned the skill, was sharing the results of that skill, and then just asking people. That's what I did in the group, and that's what I've done. That's what I did to get my first million. Pretty crazy. You've got options, of course. Instagram, again, same thing. Sharing in your stories, sharing on your posts, showing what you can do, and then asking people outright. Do a story. I'm thinking of making an online course. Reply if you're interested, and I can put you on the wait list. Or reply if you're interested, and I can send you over a screen share of what I'm thinking of teaching, and you can just break down the curriculum of what you're thinking of teaching on a Google Doc or a Trello board, and that's how it starts. Then obviously, if you're more business to business focused, then you've got LinkedIn. If you're on TikTok, if you're 16 or below, then you've got TikTok. But if you're an adult on TikTok, then you should be inspected. But that's an option, of course. And then obviously YouTube, same thing. If you've got a good, maybe you've got a channel already, you could just start asking people in a video or in the bio underneath, or the video description underneath the video. I'm opening up a waitlist for an online course. Click here to apply. Then gauging the response of people. If people do or don't join the waitlist, then you have an insight into if there's interest in your online course. Something that alone is more than sufficient for you to make a shitload of money, to be honest. Get to your first 10 grand a month. And obviously the maths of 10 grand a month is a typical entry-level online course, I think, starts at about 500. Again, it still needs to be really good. It needs to be really in-depth, help people get results. And a standalone online course where you're teaching people from start to finish the process that you want them to get results. If you have a standalone course with maybe a support group, could be a Facebook group or on school or something like that, $500 is more than sufficient as a place to start. Anything typically below that, 200 below, is kind of just, what's the point in doing it? No reason why you can't be charging at least 500 for your initial course. Then you can build on it from there. But 20 sales a month, 500 equals 10 grand. And again, it's so straightforward. It may seem very far-fetched to make 10 grand a month with online courses, but that's the entry level. There's absolutely no reason why you can't get there. The only reason that you can't get there is A, you don't have a valuable skill or results of that skill, or B, you're lazy. That is it. I've obviously had a lot of people go through my program over the years, and there are multitude of different bucket types of people. People that are ready to go, they dive in, they apply everything immediately. They are very, very consistent. That's the most important thing. They always get the results they're looking for. On the absolute polar end of that, you can lead a horse to water, etc., etc. But some people just aren't quite ready or willing to put in the effort. If they don't see an instant reaction and instant result within the first couple of weeks of very mediocre effort levels, then they are prone to throwing in the towel, unfortunately. So it's a case of asking yourself, are you determined enough? But it's also a case of, I don't know what you're earning now. If it's 10 grand a month or more in your current career or job or hobby, great. If it's not, I guarantee you're doing more work now in your current job or career, way more effort for much less money. So you just need to tip the scales and just allocate all that effort and that passion into your own business, and away you go. So that's some bro maths for you. And then in terms of infrastructure of the business, typically starts with just you. No reason why you can't get to 10 grand a month very easily with just yourself. That is it. If it's $500 for a course, again, you can do that in the DMs. You can have a webinar to a checkout page. If you're doing a call, that allows you to then charge much more, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 and up on a sales call. I teach you how to do all this stuff, of course. But yeah, when I was doing my first million and I was doing like 100 grand a month, every single month, all by myself, then the next logical hire that I got, that I should have got much, much sooner, is what's called a setter. So if you're booking calls to your calendar that you're taking, it's very time consuming to book all the calls, do all the marketing, then actually take the sales calls. I did all this myself. I was an absolute lunatic. But I was doing 100 grand a month, all profit. Again, no ads, but it's burnt me out. So the next logical hire is a setter. This is someone that will basically sit in your messenger, in your DMs. They can work on behalf of you. They can say, hey, this is John. I'm working on behalf of Carl. I'm handling some of his messages and helping people get the results they're looking for, blah, blah, blah. I see that you wanted to watch our free training. Awesome. Here's the link to check it out. Out of interest, tell me a bit more about what's going on. Have you been thinking of making an online course for long? Something along those lines. And you just obviously apply that terminology to your own specific niche or hobby. And that's what they do. They just do the conversations, the monotonous conversations that you'll be doing yourself when you start out for you. And then they start either booking calls for you or making sales for you in Messenger. So that's typically the next hire. Then, obviously, if you're doing sales calls, again, you'll get to a point where you're burnt out. I got to that point where I was burnt out. I was doing 6, 7 sales calls 5 days a week, and gets to a point where you're like, this is insane. So the next hire is a closer. So you, a setter, and a closer. And the closer obviously takes charge of the sales calls for you. Then that gives you time to step back, focus more on the business itself, focus more on getting the results for the students. Because by this stage, you typically need a setter by about 10 to 20 grand a month. If you're doing sales calls, then you should already be doing 30, 40, 50 grand a month, really. But you can you can get a closer in at this stage as well if you want, but kind of 50K and up. Because again, if you're charging like 3, 4, 5 grand a month, a program, easy. At the time when I was doing sales calls, when I just started out, I was charging just 3 grand, still got a lot of money, but 3 grand at the time on a sales call, it's piss easy. And I was doing 2 sales every single day on average. So it soon mounts up. But yeah, you can easily get a closer in around this arena. If you're already up here and you're doing sales calls, then that is it. And then obviously, as time goes on, operations start to scale up. You can add in a second setter, add in another closer, and then from there, if you want, you can get a team or sales manager. Because obviously then you have to do the day-to-day, then it starts to evolve into an actual business that you didn't even really want, like me, where I just started out on my own. Then I started getting a team involved. Then you spend more time managing and training the team and babysitting the team, making sure they're doing their jobs properly, consistently. So then you have to start, reviewing what they're doing, reviewing the conversations they're having, reviewing the sales calls. Then that starts getting annoying. So then you get someone in that can do all that stuff for you. They review the closers and the setters, keep on top of their reporting and their consistency. And then that's all you really need. I mean, all you really need is to do like $1 million a year. Well, not even that, actually. To do $1 million a year, you can just do that. You, a setter and a closer, could easily do $1 million a year. But yeah, that's basically what I have now, currently. Going through some changes, but that's basically what I've had for the last couple of years. And I do on average about 1.4 million a year in sales, in pounds. $1.7 million I did in the last 2 years and consecutively. On track to do pretty much the same again. That's it. So this looks insane, but if you've been listening and pay attention, hopefully this makes sense and it's of value to you. But yeah, as I mentioned, I have a program that teaches all of this stuff from start to finish. It's called Organic Course Selling Mastery. It literally walks you through everything. How to figure out what you're going to teach, how to use AI to help that process be more efficient, how to start and grow your own, obviously, your Facebook group to start with the marketing, how to actually record the course from start to finish. I show you all the gear, all the software, all the hardware, everything that you ever need from start to finish. Then obviously how to launch it and how to grow it, how to grow a team. Then obviously how to run ads when you're ready to scale. You can run YouTube ads, Facebook ads, all that good stuff. That's all covered in the program. So if you'd like more information, you'd like to book a call with my team to walk through your potential course ideas, below this video will be a link so you can book a call with my team. And that's it. So hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully you've gotten this far again. If you can't, like I said at the start of the video, if you can't sit down and watch a video for 10, 20, 30 minutes, you need to sort your life out. That really is it. So I'm going to end it there. Any questions, reach out below on this video and have a fucking beard. I need to trim it. Have a wonderful life. Hopefully I work with you. I want to be in your corner. Again, I enjoy this so much. I could have jumped to a different business model by now. Other coaches do it. They jump on the newest cool thing. I've stuck to my guns on this one since 2019. I still feel like I'm just getting started. So that's what I'm going to do. I've helped 1,600 people so far. I want to get to 5,000 by next 2 years. So I want you to be next. I want you to get to your first 10 grand a month with your online course business, and then I can help you grow it from there. So if that sounds good, again, info will be below this video. Any questions, reply, and talk soon.